You're hungry for change. You know you're entrepreneurial. You've got the plan. Trust yourself. You just need the platform. Well, guess what? I've got 5 business hacks for you that can put you right on your way to making $10,000 a month, even with your bad credit. Stay tuned. I'm Rosie. You just gotta do it scared. There was a time when I was barely scraping by on $12 an hour. I eventually got into corporate, but I quickly realized that I'll always be disposable to a company. So to buy my time back and have a life without pressure, I had to build something for myself that was balanced, stable, and fulfilling. Today, I'm sitting on an active real estate portfolio worth over $1.5 million, built in just 2 years. How did I do it? I leveraged local business opportunities and mastered the principles of money. And that's exactly what I'm going to teach you today. You know, sometimes the best business ideas come from the most unexpected conversation. Recently, I had 2 conversations with friends that sparked this video. If you ever call me for business strategy and help, beware, okay? Because you might end up on my YouTube. So the first local business hack, let's call it the local opportunity spotter. Why? Because opportunities that are right in your backyard can change your life. So my friend Nana calls me. We're brainstorming ideas for her. And she mentions that she needs to go to the laundromat when we're done. But then she starts talking about all these drawbacks about the laundromat. It's in a great location, but there are parking issues. Nana has lived in this community for years. I mean, her kids were born in this community. So actually at this laundromat, she knows the owner, the machines that people like to use, the brands of machines that tend to work better, peak busy time, foot traffic patterns, you get the point. So she didn't realize this, but as she was speaking, I realized that she understood the core fundamental of the laundromat business. This is why I say sometimes your $1 million, literally the idea that's going to make you put $1 million in your bank is right in your backyard, is right in front of you. You've probably been talking about it and you just have not connected the dot. The light bulb hasn't gone off. So a light bulb went off for me and I said, hey girl, do you realize what you just did? You just did your own business idea analysis. Like, she was shocked, but I was like, yes, this is the thought process around looking to start up an idea. One thing I realized, when you're hungry for change, ideas come to you. Start with what you know and where you are. When I started in real estate, I had to understand my local market to align my business model with customer needs. So in this case, Nana seems to understand the fundamentals of actually having the foundational know-how to be able to run a laundromat. And given her current opportunity and situation, this actually could be a great opportunity for her. But the challenge here is she does not have good credit. And the reason I'm sharing these stories, obviously the names have been hidden for blah, 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 blah. But yes, I did get the thumbs up to be able to share these stories. So she's hungry for change. She wants to start a business, but the credit is not looking good. So if you happen to find yourself in that situation, stay close. So I introduced her to what in real estate we call subject to. Now this strategy will help her get the laundromat. So if done right, she'll be able to take over both the business and the mortgage payments of this owner instead of having to get a new loan. She can own and run the laundromat even with bad credit. So I want you to start thinking local. So let me know in the comments, what is a business that you frequently visit or a business idea that is old school, that is boring, but works? Our second business hack, the Relationship Alchemist. Now let's talk about the superpower that's going to set you apart from all those out-of-state investors trying to swoop in on your local opportunities. Your advantage are local relationships. Now, when my friend Nana realized that she could potentially run her own laundromat and actually buy it from the owner, who would be the best first person to speak to about this? The owner that she already has a relationship with. People do business with people they already know, they like, and trust. So here's how you're going to become a relationship alchemist. Identify local business owners in your target industry. Genuinely engage with them. Ask about their journey, their challenges, and offer value. Find a way to offer value before asking for anything in return. So in this case, Nana will engage the laundromat owner. Something like this: I'm taking y'all to school. Okay, as you know, I've been coming to your laundromat for years, and I've always admired how well you run it. I'm actually thinking about getting into the business myself, and was wondering if you'd be open to grabbing some coffee or tea sometime. I'll bring you to the laundromat. I'd love to hear about your experience and maybe get some advice. Boom, you're in. Now here's your secret sauce when you get to sit down with them. Make it 80% about them and only 20% about you. Now this is gonna be tough because I know you wanna tell them about all your great business ideas and all that's going on in your life and Debbie, menya sa. 80% about them in their talking, in their sharing, and only 20% about you. Now, let's take Nana through the subject to that I mentioned about earlier. Let's make that our third business hack, and let's call it the subject to strategy mastery. The subject to strategy is literally your golden ticket to be able to buy your business even if your credit is not there yet. So here's how subject to works. You take over the payment on a business or property whilst the original owner keeps the loan in their name. It's like borrowing their good credit to be able to start your own business. Let's break it down step by step because I like it real simple. Okay, identify a business. Like right now, Nana has identified the laundromat business. Now you're going to approach the owner and express your interest in learning more about their business. Now, I didn't tell you go and be like, hello, hey, I have the money, I want to buy your business. I'm going to do subject to. No. Okay, there's a strategy to this. We're building you up as a relationship alchemist, and then we're getting you to the point of being able to work with them and own the business. Now, during your conversation, this is where your only goal is really just to collect data. You're here just to collect information because what you're trying to do is identify pain points that they're currently experiencing in their business. Right now, we have a lot of folks that are in retirement age that are looking for folks to buy the business or take over the business. They might not have dependents who might be interested or even have the availability to take over the business, but you might be interested in that business. So having these kind of conversations allows for you to be able to identify pain points and see where you can connect the dots, right? To be able to buy the business with a process like subject to. So through this conversation, you're identifying pain points, right? You're identifying reasons why they might want to sell. Okay, so that's how you're going to do this, right? Before you approach the owner with your proposal, let's talk strategy. Now, if they're open to selling their business, here's a pro tip. Don't jump the gun with your offer. Don't get too excited and put your number out there. Instead, ask them where they would like to be amount-wise to sell their business. This is still not the time to give them a number that you would like to buy their business at. This could be a good time where you ask for their business's profit and loss statements, their business tax returns, probably for the last like 2 to 3 years. Again, information gathering, data point gathering, right? And listen, you don't even need to know how to read those numbers, okay? What you're going to do is hire a really good bookkeeper or an accountant. They're going to be your secret weapon because any accountant or good bookkeeper will be able to look at that data and tell you if this is just all such a mess, if this has been faked, or if this has potential for growth and direction. Another good thing about hiring either a bookkeeper or an accountant to go through this is they can actually guide you around questions that you can come to the table with when you're speaking to the owner next time. Now, these steps that I've gone through are very important, okay? This is how you're basically stacking the bets in your favor to make sure that you're buying a good business that is more likely to project and grow in your favor. So by doing this, you know the true value of the business, what the seller desires, and what their pain points are. You will be perfectly positioned to negotiate an agreement that makes great business sense. Can you tell that I am a master negotiator? Let me tell you, in business school, that was one class that I showed out, okay? When it came to negotiating, Yep. I took it all the way, baby. And they were like, I'm like, listen, I might not be a banker, but I'll get you the best deal on the market, okay? Okay, so now back to Nana. I've given her all that I'm giving you right now. Now she's armed with this information. She can say something like this. Mr. Johnson, I've really enjoyed learning about your business. It sounds like you've put a lot of work into it over the years. I admire what you've done with your business and the impact that you've been able to have with your children. Remember, Nana has 3 kids, so this is a great way for her to connect her experience as a mom to this business owner who also has a responsibility of taking care of his kids. So then Nana says, I'm curious, have you ever thought about what your next chapter might look like? And when you ask questions like this, you have to zip. Because once again, 80-20, this is an opportunity for them to give you more information. We're in the process of negotiating now. It's hot, okay? This is how you win in sales too. When you ask these kind of really important questions, you have to force yourself to zip, okay, and allow the individuals to divulge information. And that's a great and a quick way to build good connections. And sometimes you just gotta be comfortable with the awkward silence. You know what I mean? If he ain't saying nothing, you're not saying anything. Maybe he's thinking, you don't know that. So maybe just be a bit comfortable with the awkward silence and allow him to speak. So when he does, Nana can say something like this. I ask because it inspires me to do the same for my children. Now look what I do here. Hold on. Would you be open to discussing a way for me to be able to take over the business while you still benefit from it. Okay, so you see what's happening here. Nana's slowly introducing this concept of subject to the owner. But before she got there, she's built enough of a relationship that she's able to ask this follow-up question and allow to see this opportunity for her to come to the table with a subject to deal. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Because I'm taking you to school today, okay? Let's go to work. Okay, let's move on to our fourth business hack. Let's call it the creative space transformer. Now, this one is for my creative entrepreneurs, okay? Sometimes the perfect business opportunity is not that obvious. You have to create it. Remember how I told you to look through your neighborhood? Heck, you could drive down your neighborhood, spotting opportunities, spotting areas of need. Well, this is where this pays off. Let's say you see some closed down restaurants or even an abandoned building, but it's close to a good market area of some sort, or even poorly maintained storage unit. Let me tell you, these are all gold mines. That's just waiting for your creative, hook spot, your creative touch to it. Like, there's so much information available to us for us to make a well-informed business decision. And this, at the end of the day, is the betterment for ourselves. We're helping our community, but even more importantly, we're building wealth for ourselves. Clock it and get on it. Okay, see, I'm always going off top with some crazy, exciting ideas. But anyways, what I was trying to get to was, imagine you found this space, right? And it has, really good parking as well. Don't just see what was, envision what could be in this space. And like I said, don't sleep on boring businesses. So could it be the next laundromat in town? A co-working space? A design studio for creative? Ooh, a pop-up dining experience for locals? Man, imagine if you collaborated with a couple local chefs and created this kind of like customized experience, leverage social media locally, and just like built it out and took people through a cultural experience. How dope will that be? Okay, so here's an action plan for you to make something like this happen. 1, make a list of underutilized spaces in your area. 2, research the current market demands in your community. I already talked about ways that you can do that, but even more importantly, just start having conversations with people in your community. Then 3, start brainstorming ideas on how these spaces can meet the gaps and the demands that you've identified. And 4, I've gone through a lot about different relationship discussions and techniques. Use some of those when you find the owners and start having those kind of conversations to identify an opportunity to even do a subject to deal. And remember, someone's failed restaurant could be your thriving laundromat empire. Okay, perspective, baby. Okay, we're building foundational empires here. Let's go. Okay, so our next business hack is the no credit needed deal closer. Okay, let's bring it in. Okay, here's another story of a friend who called me, Mauli. Okay, so he calls me out of my sleep. Don't you hate it when your friend calls you and like, oh, are you sleeping? No, I was just resting my voice and my eyes. Of course I'm sleeping. What are you doing? Okay, well, guess what? He called me to explain to him how he can use the subject to strategy to be able to be a lender to a friend of his. This is for a car loan because he's like an international student. Now, this might not work for everyone, but when you spot the opportunity, definitely explore it, because this could be a great way for you to make money without stressing out about it at all. So just like I walked through the process with you today, I walked him through it. They agreed on terms. They had an attorney draw up the terms and they were able to get it notarized, and he keeps the car as collateral, right? So what happens? Anything goes south, repo, here we go, right? So here's what's interesting. Now he's officially a bank. His friend gave him a down payment, and now he receives monthly payments from his friend. And now he's making serious interest on his own money. And so, like I said, if his friend defaults on the loan, Mauli is the title holder, right? Because until the payments are complete, then the title will switch over to him. But in the meantime, he still has the power to repo it if things go south. So the friend gets the car that he wants, and Mauli, on the other hand, officially has put his money to work. Now that is passive income, leveraging the subject to strategy. Another thing to keep in mind when you're having conversations with business owners is you can easily mention that, hey, an attorney will be drawing up our note, things that make things official on the up and up. And this allows for people to be more comfortable and ease in the conversation with you. This is not the time to be going online and doing a DIY contract, okay? We're building an empire here. Let's do everything on the up and up. I remember one of my lenders wanted to speak to my attorney, whom I have a great relationship relationship with. But that was phenomenal, right? He had some questions. The attorney was the one drawing up the note and the terms of the loan. So it was a great way for him to feel comfortable, get his questions answered, and be able to move forward with a deal. And if I failed to pay any of my owners that I was in an owner financing deal with, they can take the contract and foreclose on the home and basically take the home back. On top of that, I have insurance that covers them in case of an incident or an accident. So these are some of the assurances that a seller that might be open to a subject to deal or an owner financing deal with you might be looking for, that you can kind of broach that conversation with them about. This is truly a great way. Like, I'm speaking from experience, and I'm telling you, building the relationships is so key that it becomes such a win-win situation for both parties. So if you're like Nana, remember Nana from earlier today? Yes. If you're like her and you've been thinking about ways to establish something that will stick, a business that will stick and grow and build a legacy for you, think about these things. Become the local opportunity spotter. Now, after watching this vid, if you're driving to and from work, if you're going out to go meet up with your girlfriends for some brunch, look at where you're driving. Look at the areas. Now you're really looking in town and understanding the dynamics of your own community. 2, become the relationship alchemist. Start building genuine relationships with local business owners. 3, master the subject to strategy. This could be a great opportunity for you to use creative financing to acquire businesses, and it becomes a win-win situation both for the business owner and yourself coming into business. 4, become the creative space transformer and start to see potential in underutilized spaces. And 5, you are the no credit needed deal closer. I've taught you a thing or two on how to navigate some deals without necessarily having good credit. Whew. I gave you a whole business school sesh today. I want you to remember that success doesn't happen overnight. We hear an overnight success. They've been building quietly, slowly for a decade. I might have built a real estate portfolio in just a couple of years, but the momentum it took me to get there has been many, many years in the making. Let me know in the comments an idea that excites you, something that you might be going after from just a local perspective that could really set you up in building an empire for yourself. I want to meet you in the comments, so let's chat. You know I believe in you. You are capable of changing your life this year. Did you see the video that I made for you on starting a successful business and investing? I'll put it up here for you, so definitely check it out. Well, I see you there, and remember, around here, if you're not doing is scared, what are you doing? What are you doing?